Hello. For my end of class project, I wanted to talk about cognition in adolescence, as this was a topic that I found to be very interesting learning about during the semester. So let's get started with my outline. I will be discussing firstly what cognition in adolescence is, along with the operational stage of cognitive development, the different phases of thinking from adolescence, influences on cognitive development, and information processing perspectives on cognitive development. So, cognition in adolescence, what is it? Cognitive development is the growth of a child's ability to think and reason. In children, this development begins from the age of 6 to 12, and for adolescents, it goes from 12 to 18 years old. This type of thinking is also known as formal logical operations, which includes the ability to abstract think, which means to think about the possibilities, reason from known principles, which is forming new ideas or questions, considering new viewpoints. This means to compare or debate opinions and ideas, and the ability to think about the process of thinking. So that is being aware of the act of thought process. So now I'll get into my second slide, which is the formal operational stage of cognitive development. Adolescence is the period for which individuals reach the final stage of formal operation. The term formal means the adolescent has achieved the ability to reason using formal logical systems and symbols. According to John Pignat's stages of cognitive development, it is considered complete during adolescence. In addition to increase the complexity in their reasoning, adolescents gain the ability to think about all aspects of a situation, even if a situation doesn't or can't exist. So, for example, a high school student discusses how America's history would be different had John F. Kennedy not been assassinated. So they could dive into like policy changes that he could have implemented had he lived, or just an overall, how overall his American history would have changed had JFK not been assassinated. So a child would not be able to formulate this type of thought process. This is people start learning this during the adolescent period. So now I will get into the different facets of thinking from adolescence. So adolescent thought is believed to be characterized by various tendencies that stem from teens' new ability to think of what is possible. Adolescents can also now think of multiple dimensions of a problem. And because of these new possibilities, teens in the 12 to 18 age range develop relativistic thinking, which is the belief that most truths and statements of fact are relative to the observer. An example of this could be two friends who are discussing whose answer on the test is correct. A teenager would be able to see how both friends could have the right answer on the context of their answer in the example. So now on to the next section, I will discuss influences on cognitive development. So the information processing perspective and going back to John Pignat's theory are fueled by a feedback loop between the maturing brain of the individual and the environmental inputs and supports for the brain's further growth and development. So things like culture, schooling, and family and home environment are all external factors that can influence cognitive development. An example is kids of authoritative parents have shown to benefit the most in school performance and engagement if the development of formal operations is considered a goal of cognitive development. There has also been research to support how cultural factors can at least partially impact cognition and cognitive development. So there has been shown in studies that there are differences. For example, if one grows up in, countries in Southeast Asia compared to Western countries such as the United States or England. And now I'll dive into the information processing perspectives on cognitive development. So I wanted to talk about cognitive domains. Cognitive domains refer to the different areas of mental functioning that involve processes like perception, memory, attention, and reasoning. Adolescent brain growth and maturation lead to rapid increases in abilities across all the cognitive domains. Overall, as we consider the adolescent from the information processing perspective, there are individuals who are advanced across many cognitive domains, together with an ability to reason effectively using those skills. But I think, I think in my opinion, from what I've lived through, it's definitely, I think most adolescents are still just trying to figure it all out. But there definitely are, individuals who their ability to reason effectively using those skills are definitely more advanced than others. But I would say for the most part, most of the time we're all just trying to figure it out at that age. So for my references, I used Cognitive Development in Adolescence for Stanford Medicine's Children's Health, and I used the another reference from the Lifespan Development Diana Reiser OpenStax textbook. So that was my presentation. Thank you.